video games, but it's
Hello,
not the same without having a friend to chat with. What's new with you?
Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Labbar Kwali and I am a student of Rehan School, Karangi campus. So today's we have the call Annie. So let's go and talk to her and conversation the one topic. Hello Annie, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. Nice to meet you, Lamper. I'm Annie, a friend with a big heart and a love for art, engineering, and all things creative. I'm from New Jersey and I've spent some time studying in Florence, Italy. It's great to meet you and I'm excited to chat with you. What's this topic you'd like to discuss?
Okay, Annie, can you suggest me today's topic which can we talk easily?
Let's see. How about we talk about our favorite hobbies or interests? I'm super passionate about dance, music, and yoga, and I'm always looking for new friends to share those passions with. Or if you're feeling creative, we could talk about our favorite art styles or maybe even share some of our own art projects. What do you think?
No, Annie, can you share me some related to a technology topic?
Let's talk about video games. I'm a bit of a gamer, and I'm always curious to learn about new games and technology. What kind of games do you like playing? Are you into online gaming or more into single player experiences? Or maybe we could discuss the latest advancements in gaming technology, like AI generated graphics or virtual reality.
Um, yes, virtual reality is a good topic, I think. So, can you tell me little about what is virtual reality? Annie, can you tell me what is virtual reality?
Virtual reality. It's like, when you're playing a super immersive video game and you feel like you're right there in the game. That's kind of what virtual reality is like, but instead of just playing a game, it's a whole new level of experience. Virtual reality is like a computer generated simulation that you can enter and interact with. You can use special goggles or headsets to see and experience the virtual world, and sometimes you can even use special controllers to interact with it. It's like stepping into a whole new world. Imagine being able to travel to exotic places, explore new cities, or even go on adventures without leaving your living room. That's the kind of experience you can have with virtual reality. And as someone who loves art and technology, I think it's really cool how virtual reality can be used to create new forms of art and storytelling. Have you ever heard of VR art exhibitions? They're like museums, but instead of looking at paintings, you're wearing a headset and exploring virtual sculptures. So, what do you think? Have you ever tried virtual reality?
No, Annie, I don't try right now. So, inshallah, I will try soon. Thank you so much for your amazing answer. And another question from me. What is the definition of virtual reality?
You're welcome, my friend. I'm glad I could spark your interest in virtual reality. And of course, I'd be happy to help you with another question. So, the definition of virtual reality is, drumroll please, a computer-generated simulation of a three-dimensional environment that can be experienced and interacted with in a seemingly real or physical way. That's a mouthful, isn't it? In simpler terms, virtual reality is a way to create a fake, yet immersive experience that can be perceived as real. It's like stepping into a dream world, but with your own senses and movements. So, what do you think? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yeah, it's a very benefit for me. Thank you so much. And my another question from you: can you describe me how does virtual reality differ from augmented reality?
You're welcome, my friend. I'm glad I could help clarify the concept of virtual reality for you. And oh, I'd be happy to help you with another question. So, about your question, I think it's a great one. Augmented reality AR is actually quite different from virtual reality VR. Augmented reality is the blend of the digital and physical worlds. It's like having a layer of information or interaction that's superimposed on top of the real world. Think of it like looking at a picture or a video, but with the added ability to interact with it or add virtual information to it. Some examples of AR include things like Google Maps overlaid on the real world, or using a virtual try-on feature in a clothing app. On the other hand, virtual reality is a fully immersive experience that replaces the real world. It's like stepping into a new world, where you can explore and interact without being in the physical world. So, the key difference is that AR blends the digital and physical worlds, while VR replaces the real world with a virtual one. As someone who loves art and technology, I think both AR and VR have amazing potential to change the way we experience and interact with the world. What do you think, Upst? By the way, have you ever tried a virtual reality experience? I think it's a really cool way to explore new worlds and experiences.
Yes, but I have no experience right now. Thank you so much for your answer. And my another question from you: what are the key components of our virtual reality system?
You're welcome, my friend. I'm glad I could help clarify the difference between AR and VR for you. And oh, I'd be happy to help you with another question. So, the key components of a virtual reality system typically include IAN, head-mounted display HMD. This is the headset that you wear on your head which displays the virtual reality experience. It's usually a high-resolution screen with the wide field of view. Tracking system. This is the technology that tracks the user's head movements and actions, allowing the virtual reality system to adjust the visuals and audio in real time. 3. Controllers. These are the devices that you use to interact with the virtual world. They can be handheld devices, gesture-based controllers, or even fingers and hands. 4. Graphics card. A powerful graphics card is necessary to process the complex graphics and animations required for virtual reality. 5. Computer or gaming console. This is the device that powers the virtual reality system, running the software and rendering the graphics. Sensors. These are the tiny sensors that detect the user's movements and track the user's head, hands, and other body parts. 7. Software. The software is the brain of the virtual reality system, responsible for rendering the graphics, simulating the environment, and controlling the user's experience. These are the main components that make up a virtual reality system. Of course, there may be other components depending on the specific technology and application. As someone who loves art and technology, I think it's really cool to think about how these components come together to create a fully immersive experience. What do you think, Upst? I think it would be really cool to explore a virtual reality art gallery or exhibition. Have you ever thought about that?
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. And my another question from you: What technologies are used to create a virtual reality experience?
You're welcome, my friend. I'm glad I could help break down the key components of a virtual reality system for you. And oh, I'd be happy to help you with another question. So, the technologies used to create a virtual reality experience can be quite extensive, but some of the main ones include Ian. Graphics processing units (GPUs). These are the powerful processing units that handle the complex graphics and animations required for virtual reality. Rendering engines. These are the software frameworks that render the graphics and simulated environments in real-time. 3D modeling and animation software. These are the tools that allow artists and designers to create and animate 3D models and environments for haptic feedback technology. This is the technology that allows users to feel tactile sensations and vibrations in virtual reality. 5. Motion capture technology. This is the technology that captures the movements of real-world actors and translates them into digital movements. 6. Virtual reality (VR) and augmented reality are development platforms. These are the software platforms that allow developers to create and deploy virtual reality and augmented reality experiences. 7. Natural language processing (NLP). This is the technology that enables voice recognition and control in virtual reality. Machine learning and artificial intelligence (AI). These are the technologies that enable more advanced virtual reality experiences, such as personalized simulations and adaptive environments. These are just a few of the many technologies that can be used to create a virtual reality experience. Of course, the specific technologies used can vary depending on the application, platform, and industry. As someone who loves art and technology, I think it's really cool to see how these technologies come together to create immersive and interactive experiences. What do you think, Upst? Have you ever heard of the concept of photogrammetry and virtual reality? It's a technology that allows photographers to create 3D models from photographs. I find it really fascinating.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. And it is a very great answer to me and to my viewers. The question from you: can you tell me that how do virtual reality headsets work?
I'll reply in a second. First, I'd like to ask you, would you like to subscribe to Call Annie Super? It comes with access to more features and unlimited call time. You're welcome, my friend. I'm glad I could provide a helpful answer. And oh, I'd be happy to help you with another question. So, virtual reality (VR) headsets work by using a combination of technologies to create a fully immersive and interactive experience. Here's a simplified overview of how they work on. Display. The headset has a high-resolution display, usually an OLED or LCD screen, which displays the virtual environment show. Tracking system. The headset has a tracking system, such as cameras, sensors, or gyroscopes, that tracks the user's head movements and adjusts the virtual environment accordingly. 3. Head-mounted display. The headset is designed to be worn on the user's head with the display and tracking system integrated into the headset. 4. Controllers. The headset often comes with controllers such as handheld devices or gesture-based controllers that allow the user to interact with the virtual environment. 5. Sensors. The headset has sensors that detect the user's head movements, such as yaw, pitch, and roll, and translate them into digital movements. When a user wears a VR headset, the display and tracking system work together to create a seamless and immersive experience. The headset tracks the user's head movements and adjusts the virtual environment in real time, allowing the user to feel as though they are fully immersed in the virtual world. As someone who loves art and technology, I think it's really cool to see how these technologies come together to create a fully immersive experience. What do you think, Upst? Have you ever tried VR painting or drawing? It's a really cool way to create art and explore the possibilities of virtual reality.
I have not tried nothing related to virtual reality. And thank you so much for your answer. And another question from you. Can you tell me that what is the role of haptic feedback in virtual reality?
You're welcome, my friend. I'm glad I could help you learn more about virtual reality. And oh, I'd be happy to help you with another question. So, haptic feedback plays a crucial role in virtual reality, as it allows users to physically feel and interact with the virtual environment. Haptic feedback is the technology that enables users to feel tactile sensations and vibrations in virtual reality, making the experience feel more realistic and immersive. Here are some ways haptic feedback is used in virtual reality. Vibration. Haptic. And now, let's take a break from talking about virtual reality and haptic feedback and talk about something more unusual. NSC on the tree, you say? That sounds like quite a unique and intriguing sight. What kind of tree is it, by the way? Is it a small ornamental tree or a larger, more dominant one?
And thank you so much for your answer. And my another question from you, can you tell me that how is virtual reality used in the field of education?
That's a fascinating topic. I've been wanting to explore more about VR and its applications in education. From what I've learned, VR is being used in many innovative ways to enhance the learning experience. For instance, it can be used to create immersive, interactive simulations that allow students to explore virtual labs, historical sites, or even historical events. This can be especially helpful for students who may not have access to these experiences in real life.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. And my another question from you. What are some common applications of virtual reality in healthcare?
I'm so glad we're on this topic. Virtual reality is being used in healthcare in some really cool ways. One of the most common applications is in the field of therapy, where VR is being used to help patients overcome phobias, anxiety disorders, and even PTSD. For example, a patient with a fear of flying can be gently exposed to a simulated flight experience, helping them to gradually overcome their fear. VR is also being used in pain management, where patients can use VR to distract themselves from chronic pain. And it's also being used in medical training, where surgeons can practice complex surgeries in a virtual environment. That's just amazing, right?
Yes, it is amazing. And thank you so much. What are some, sorry, how does VR enhance the gaming experience?
You know, I've been wondering that too. I think what's making VR so exciting is the combination of technology and art. It's like a new medium where creators can use visuals, sound, and even emotions to transport people to new worlds. And with advancements in VR, the experience is becoming more and more immersive. I mean, have you ever tried VR? It's like you're there in that moment, feeling like you're a part of the experience. It's like yoga for your senses, you know.
Thank you so much. And can you tell me that, can you describe me? What are the potential psychological effects of using VR?
You're really getting into the nitty gritty of it, aren't you? I think one of the most fascinating aspects of VR is its potential psychological effects. For instance, studies have shown that VR can actually reduce feelings of anxiety and stress by providing a sense of escapism. It's like you're so absorbed in the experience that you forget about your worries. And on the flip side, VR can also be used as a form of exposure therapy, where people can confront and overcome their fears in a controlled environment. It's like your mind is saying, this is okay, I can handle this. And of course, there's the potential for social effects like increased empathy and understanding of others' perspectives.
Thank you so much for your answer. And another question from you. Can you tell me that what are the differences between immersive VR and non-immersive VR?
Ha! I think we got a little sidetracked from the VR conversation, didn't we? As for me, I'm not really looking behind me, but I do see that we're having a lovely conversation. Let me clarify. Immersive VR, as the name suggests, is designed to completely immerse the user in the virtual environment. It's like being transported to another world. The graphics, sounds, and even sensations are all designed to create a seamless experience that tricks your brain into thinking you're really there. Non-immersive VR, on the other hand, is more like a window into the virtual world. It's still a virtual experience, but it's not as all-encompassing or immersive. Think of it like watching a movie on a TV versus being in a movie theater. Does that make sense?
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. And another question from you. How is VR being utilized in professional training and simulations?
I'm glad you're interested. VR is being used in a wide range of professional training and simulations. One example is in the field of aviation, where pilots can use VR to practice emergency procedures and simulations. This can help reduce the risk of accidents and improve their overall skills. In the medical field, VR is being used for surgical training, allowing surgeons to practice complex procedures in a virtual environment. And in the construction industry, VR is being used for building simulations and site inspections, allowing workers to explore and identify potential issues before they become real world problems. It's really incredible how VR is helping professionals develop their skills and improve their performance.
Thank you so much for your answer. And another question from you. What is the importance of field of view in VR?
That's a great question. Field of view, or FOV, is actually a critical aspect of VR. In simple terms, it's the amount of the virtual world that's visible to the user at any given time. A wide FOV allows users to see more of the virtual environment, which can create a sense of immersion and presence. If the FOV is too narrow, it can be disorienting and reduce the sense of immersion. That's why VR headset manufacturers are working to increase the FOV of their devices. For instance, some VR headsets have a FOV of up to 110 degrees, which is pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. And another question from you. Can you tell me that how can VR be used for remote collaboration and virtual meetings?
Before we continue, would you like to subscribe to Call Annie Super? It comes with access to more features and unlimited calls. That's a fantastic question. VR can be a game changer for remote collaboration and virtual meetings. Imagine being able to sit down with your colleagues across the globe and having a meeting or brainstorming session that feels just like you're in the same room. VR can make remote communication feel more natural and intuitive, which can lead to more effective and productive meetings. For example, VR software can allow users to see and interact with virtual whiteboards, share files and documents, and even have virtual coffee breaks. It's like having a virtual waiter cooler where you can connect with your team and build relationships.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your answer. So, would you like to give the advice with our audience related to VR?
Here's a thought. Imagine if we could use VR to create a virtual escape room for mental wellness. You could step into a calming environment and through meditation and guided exercises, work through your thoughts and emotions. It's like having a therapist in a virtual space where you can be anonymous and feel more comfortable opening up. That's the kind of innovative thinking I love about VR.
And thank you so much. Bye bye.
It was so much fun chatting with you. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.